Yeah, I'm Mark Bennett.
I'm April Bennett.
We had our first date in Orlando. By the end of that date, we probably would have got married.
Probably. We had to swaddle him super, super tight and then almost even hold his head down to get him to fall asleep. He had just kind of this sense of panic about him all the time, even as an infant, that unless you were giving him this really strong external input, he just didn't feel safe in his own skin. He never crawled because he never wanted to touch the floor with his hands. And he would cry and cry and cry if something got on his hands. So he was up and pulling himself along the furniture simply just to get off the floor. We took him to Costco, walking by all the books that they have out for little kids. And he was in the cart and they had a touch and feel puppy book. And so we had him touch the puppy in the book. And he didn't stop shaking for over an hour. He was just in terror of this book. That he just could not handle anything that was kind of a fuzzy texture. I realized on Isaac's first birthday that I was pregnant. So we went in and I explained kind of my story and I said, I know you people don't usually come to the doctor this early in their pregnancy, but I really need to know what's going on. And it was the first time that we ever saw a baby with a heartbeat. Here was a toddler that did the typical toddler thing. You put a plate of spaghetti in front of them. They don't cry. They cover themselves head to toe in spaghetti. So you have a 1-year-old who's head to toe in spaghetti and a 2-year-old who are spoon feeding the spaghetti and is crying if there's spaghetti anywhere that he could touch. When we got here, we were getting our first full psychological evaluation of Isaac. So we came away with sensory processing, an unspecified neurological disorder, and unspecified impulse control disorder. And
that got us occupational therapy.
Yes, and it got us a recommendation for PCIT. That was the first time that someone had said, I think PCIT will benefit your family. We had this infant, Peter, new to our family, that we could see right away there was something wrong with his eyes. So it was kind of this balancing act. This 3-year-old that has some kind of special needs, some challenges, but he's kind of doing okay in school. And this infant that's not meeting any milestones and cries pretty much 24 hours a day. Because I was dealing with all this stuff with Peter, Isaac was doing some summer camps, and the people there were just reporting some big behavior stuff. The only summer camps that were really successful at that summer were at Encompass. The people that were working with him, they understood him. They saw where he was coming from. So they didn't just label him as a problem and write him off or ask us to come get him. They actually took the time to get to know him, and he loved it there. And the next summer, the only summer camps that he said he wanted to go back to were the ones at Encompass. So it's Seattle, it's summer, we don't have AC, it's hot, and this child is wearing a full body monster costume with the hood and everything.
Sully. from
everywhere he goes. From a sensory perspective, I think he just loved, it was tight, it was a little bit small, and he just loved how it felt. So one afternoon, he was crying about wanting some cheese, and I was probably just asking him to wait a few minutes to do something with the baby, and then I would get him his cheese. And he was standing in the kitchen, and he full body costume. I think he even had a bicycle helmet on over the costume. And he grabs this 2-pound block of cheese and goes, "It is mine, it will always be mine," and takes off out the back door. And so I leave the baby and the 2-year-old, take off out the back door after him, and it's 90 degrees, and I'm chasing a little monster in a helmet, holding a 2-pound block of cheese over his head, running down the street through my neighborhood, thinking, this is not what they tell you about parenting. This is not the way it's supposed to be. We clearly need some kind of professional help at this point in our family. She understood what I was saying, that I was seeing at home. And she said, I really think I can help your family. So I left pretty encouraged that day. We did all the homework that we were asked to do, which is really just playing with your kid. And started learning the pride skills and praising and reflecting and describing what he was doing and just enjoying our time with him. And it just gave Isaac that 5 minutes a day with mommy, where I wasn't trying to teach him anything. I wasn't trying to focus on anything other than just loving on Isaac. So it wasn't just about therapy for Isaac, and everything we had done up to this point had been therapy for Isaac. This became therapy for the Bennetts.
PCIT helped me be a better parent no matter what. It didn't matter if Isaac had special needs or not. It was more about what I did than about him. And it helped with all 4 of our kids, not just him.
Without Encompass, I don't know when he would get to go to summer camp. Probably not next year or the year after. It would be a long time. There's not many places that take kids, special needs toddlers or preschoolers. Most of even the special needs camps are for grade school and high school. So Encompass fills this big gap in that special needs community for little kids who just want to go to summer camp and be like everybody else. There are times that parenting can feel isolating. You think your kid is the only one that does this, or you're the only parent that feels that way, and you see all these happy smiling faces on social media and you just kind of feel worse and worse about yourself. And you don't have to be alone. You don't have to face this parenting thing alone. That Encompass is there, and they wrap around the whole family, and they provide something for everyone that all of our kids from special needs to typical have completely benefited, and we have to.